Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to dive into the world of memory and memory retention. Now, in today's video, I'm just going to talk about how to retain memory for as long as possible and how to remember what you've read, because this is one of the problems I faced when I was in school. I will always read today and the next day I will actually forget everything that I've read. And today I'm going to give you the tip on which I use to overcome this problem, because this is a problem that a lot of students have been having, that they just read something today and the next day they are actually forgotten about 10% of what they have read. But today I'm going to give you how to stop that from happening, or how to retain memory for a very long time. So stay tuned guys. Now, one of the biggest reasons why a lot of students actually forget most things that they have read quickly is that they're actually reading for exam. Yeah, I know that reading for exam is one of the number one priorities why a lot of students read, but that's where the problem comes in, because you're only setting your brain into the motion that after this exam, then I don't need this thing, I don't need to read for this thing again. And that's the problem. Once you have done that exam, then every information in your brain just dies down. Now your brain is like a machine that it takes in information based on what you're actually putting it for. Now, if you remember when you're reading your ABC, so on and so forth, you didn't read your ABC because you want to just know it for an exam and that's all. Because I believe that even till today, till tomorrow, till you die, you're actually going to use that ABC. That is the same way that you should treat information that you're reading. You want to read it that, okay, I want to keep using this information for a very long time. You don't just want to read it because you have an exam that is coming up. So whenever you want to read, always try to read because you want to read, you want to understand this thing, and not just because you have an exam. Because if you read because you have an exam, trust me, 90% of everything you've read after the exam, in fact, even you're not careful, 100% of everything you've read after the exam will just go away. And some of them, it could be as worst as even before the exam, all the information in your mind will just go away. So always try to read for a long time. Don't always read for just exam and that's all. One of the biggest reasons that a lot of students, including myself, would actually forget what we read is the reasons. Now, a lot of students are actually reading just because they actually want people to notice them reading. And this is one thing that I actually did. I won't lie. We're always reading because you have your friend close by and you always want to read. Okay, so he will notice that you're reading, or your friends in school will notice that they are reading. And the problem with this is actually it's good to read, but the problem is that you're not actually in your right state of mind to study. Like, you're just reading because you want people to actually see you, and you're not reading because you want to assimilate that particular topic. Now, reading because you want people to see you isn't going to really help you, because at that state of mind, you're not prepared to read. You're not actually your mind is not really in the state of reading. So you're just trying to read, you're just trying to force your mind into assimilating information that it's not going to be it's not actually going to stay long in your memory. The next thing that I think is one of the reasons why a lot of students actually don't retain information is because they don't read what they have passion for. Now, myself, I love reading chemistry, biology, and physics. Now, but most especially I love reading chemistry, and I noticed that each time I read chemistry, the information actually stays longer in my mind than when I read biology, which I don't really like. Now, if you've been on my channel, you will know that I kind of have a little problem with biology, and that was the problem. I was always trying to, because I have problem with biology, I would always try to make biology my first topic I read in the day. Now, I will always try that, okay, today I'm going to read biology from morning till night, and that is the problem. You're actually reading what you don't have passion for, and your brain won't store that information in long-term memory. Now, you always want to read something you have passion for first before trying to read something you don't have passion, because you want to engage your brain, you want to make your brain fully focused in it. Because then, if for instance I start reading biology, then very quickly I would lose focus and I won't really even understand what I'm reading. Even if I try to bring physics into it, I would have lost focus already. I would have lost interest in reading. But once I start with physics that I really love, or chemistry that I really love, then I noticed that even when I switch to biology, then I would really it would make me retain more in memory in the long run. But once you try to force your brain to retain or to take information that it doesn't want to actually take it, then trust me, it won't take that information seriously. You will notice that the next day, almost 80% or 50% of what you read will just go. Now, one of the most important and the biggest tip which I can give to any of you, and this tip is really important, and I think you should keep incorporating this whenever you are trying to read and retain information. And this tip is just revision. Now, I know a lot of you have heard of it thousands and thousands of times, but I think it's really something that you want to really incorporate whenever you're studying, because Each time you read something recently, your brain stores this information or whatever you've read in a short-term memory, kind of like a short-term memory. Now, the only thing is that the short-term memory can't store much information, and if the information is full, the brain has to filter off those old information. And once your brain sees that, okay, this thing you read, you have not actually read it again, your brain feels like, okay, it's not really important to you, and then filter this information. And you will notice that you can't really remember those things. But once you keep reading this thing over and over and over and over again, your brain sees it like, oh, I think this guy really needs this information. And it takes the information from the short term memory and stores it in the long term memory. That is why even if you are asleep and someone wakes you up from your sleep and tell you, okay, can you recite ABC for me, the alphabetical letter, you will notice that even without thinking, you can actually say it, because all through your life, even till tomorrow, you will keep using that letter over and over again. Now your brain sees this alphabetical letter as something really important to you and stores them in your in your long-term memory. That's why you notice that now you don't even have to think even before saying it, because it's something that is stored in your long-term memory. So once your brain notices that you are not reciting this information over and over again, your brain feels that, okay, it's not really important to you, and just trash this information. So if you want to really understand something and retain it for a very long time, then I think one of the best thing you can do is always revise it. No, I'm not saying 24/7 keep revising it, but this is one of the best tips I would give to anyone that is trying to retain information. So that's it for today's video. I just want to really make this video short, and thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe so you get more content like this when I release them. So stay tuned and see you guys next time. Bye.